Well, my name is Queen Fry. I grew up here in North Minneapolis, all the way from Boston, Massachusetts. And here in North Minneapolis, I am an urban farmer. I'm the lead farmer of Our Roots Garden, which is a private urban farm in North Minneapolis. And our goal is to grow food, create more options in our food system here in North Minneapolis, and to teach agricultural skills. And today I put together a recipe, or I'm sharing a recipe for my family, and it comes all the way from the Cape Verde Islands. The Cape Verde Islands are about 10 islands off the west coast of Africa. And I'm pretty sure if you go there and you go to a restaurant and you ask for a soup of canja, that you will find it there. Yeah, so this is a very simple thing you can put together, and some people add a couple other things to it too. But I'm showing you what my grandmother would always repeatedly put in her canja, and I think it's because these are the things that she really liked. Okay. But there are other things, like you can add potatoes or tomatoes as well. I've seen that in other Cape Verdean versions of canja. So this is like one of a few dishes that we make. There are other dishes like jugacita and cachupa that we make, and some of those are made like during someone's graduation or when a baby is born or a wedding. It's a dish that you bring to share for everyone. It's like a celebratory thing. And for me, it's like, people talk about identity a lot, like, you know, what makes up your identity. Obviously, food and the foods that we share within our family also make up our identity. And so it's basically, you start out with a broth, just like any other soup, except for today, instead of using a whole chicken or parts of a chicken to boil down and wait for the meat to shred, we're gonna use chicken broth. Then there's rice, and then you have these are like your basic soup. If you were gonna do a broth on your own with no meat, these are the basic things: carrots, celery, onions, and garlic. And so we're gonna just use all of those with a little bit of olive oil and some seasoning, and we'll garnish it with some parsley at the end. I'm gonna just say, here in North Minneapolis, we don't have a lot of options for fresh food, access to fresh food, grocery stores, and so this is a way to help provide those options in our food system here. Food is healing. Like this meal today I picked this because, you know, 'tis the season. My grandmother would pull this out and we would cook this whenever somebody got sick. I don't think there's any better relationship builder other than food. Gosh, I mean, having food, sharing a meal with someone, that's the essence of breaking bread. Like getting to know someone, like building with them. Like it's a very spiritual act. It's an act of generosity. Everybody has a food story. Like food comes from somewhere. It's how we nourish ourselves with just the contents of the food, nourish ourselves with the company of people. Yeah.
Welcome to Table Talk. My name is Taja. I am the Community Cooks Program Facilitator with Appetite for Change. Today I am sitting down with what I consider to be our black growers and farmers here in North Minneapolis. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and kind of tell us what it is that they do on a daily basis. Marcus, if you would like to go first.
That's what's up. My name is Marcus Carr. I am the Director of Programs for Youth Farm in North Minneapolis. I am the co-chair of the Homegrown Minneapolis Food Council, the city, and the Black Agrarian, you know.
I'm Eva Garrett, born and raised in North Minneapolis. I'm an herbalist and a naturopath.
You mind explaining what an herbalist is and a naturopath? Never heard of it.
So for herbalists, my herbalism, I basically use natural medicine and remedies to heal my community.
And then a naturopath?
Naturopath, I take it a few steps further. I went to school to learn to basically detect disease and stress by your face, your hands, your eyes, and to basically pair them with natural remedies to help the stress or disease that you're suffering from.
All right, and do you also grow food?
I do. I grow a lot of food.
Alrighty, and Marcus, I heard you say you grow some food too.
I grow food.
So why, growing in an urban area? Like, why do you do it? Why did you choose to do it? What called you to doing it?
So for me, I would say I started with Appetite for Change. I did a couple things actually with Youth Farm a long time ago because my daughter worked for Youth Farm. So that would be my first gardening experience with the Youth Farm. She's now going to school and working for a bakery, but she was when JP was running Youth Farm.
Yeah.
Yep, we did a lot of different things, and I did some parenting and programming with them too. So started there, and then I actually started off volunteering through my family. Started volunteering with Appetite for Change, and I guess I kind of just got a love for growing things and just trying new things in more of a healthy, natural way. So did Appetite for Change, helped the inner city gardens. We grew food, sold it at a farmer's market, did community cooks, created the New Moms group and ran that for about 11 years, where we basically invited anybody. You could have a kid, at least as long as you had a kid under the age of 12 months, you could come. So as New Moms, we taught you how to make your own milk from different nuts, how to make baby food, just healthier options for your family and for your children. So that's some of the stuff I've done.
And then you just was like, all right, I love that, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so I'm growing stuff here at this garden, right, but I don't get to take it all home. I can take a bag home, but I don't get to take it all home, So I'm like, with a couple seeds, I can have all this in my backyard. And I have a really backyard, and it started out with just like little container gardens. And now it's really, really big. I don't even know what to compare it to, but I grow enough produce to basically, I have 5 CSA boxes I prepare each week for 5 different families. And then the rest of our produce that we don't actually take or use or anything like that, we have we take it to the assisted living home on 42nd and Fremont.
It's beautiful.
So that's what we did this summer with all of our produce. And here at Hill, and we provide a lot of it for Hill to make good stuff for the community.
Well, thank you for that.
That's what's up.
You're
What
welcome.
about you, Marcus? Why you grow food?
You already know why. I grow up for you. All right. No, I don't know how I ended up here. I think it was just survival. And I really wanted to process what was happening to me in my immediate environment. I wasn't worried much about what was happening in the world compared to where I was standing, sitting and stuff. And the goal was to create a healthier environment for myself. I was losing a lot of homies and people, not just to, health issues, but also to like violence where I was and things like that. So I would tour and come home and grow things. And Youth Farm found me and gave me an opportunity to show them what the cultural approach to it was. So now I'm growing close to about 3 acres over north, hidden in different communities where instead of like dividing plots and assigning plots to people, my thing is to gather groups of people around growing a city lot, and then instead of you just having the tomatoes and peppers to eat this summer, we got all the things.
Okay.
Right? And then we get creative about it because I'm naturally a creative. So now we're talking about, arts and culture. The goal is to literally build a culture around foods here in North. So hearing what you do, I already know what you do, but just hearing it from you does my soul something, peace, want to see more of it. I became like the co-chair of the Food Council 2 years ago. Food Council, the Homegrown Food Council is an advisory board, a commission at the city. And I'm the mayoral pick to like co-chair that council that's working on the Minneapolis Food Vision, which is now something that we're trying to develop to give us the tools to actually feed the businesses, the people here, Minneapolis.
That's dope.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Create opportunities for our babies to come and take my job. I need them to come take my job, please. Somebody please come save me. Just saying. I was trying to steal you for a minute.
So, y'all mentioned being from North, and then y'all keep talking about like community. Why do you think it's important to have the work that you all do here in this community that you're from?
This is where we're from.
That's the main reason.
You know,
So just because y'all from here, y'all think this community deserve what y'all offer?
We know that it deserves it.
Okay.
that, and you got to remember that word community is the long version of the original text. The original text is not, you know, it's not the suffix with the suffix and the prefix. It's just uni. It's you and I, right?
That's dope. I never looked at
I
that.
know.
So only from, and in the dictionary, the word uni means one. Only from one can come two. You know, and now we're all here. So I'm just saying, we need to start paying attention to why we're doing this. And there's a very spiritual thing for me because it keeps my sanity, right? So while the world is out there, you know, and all the things are happening, it allows me to hyper focus on some of the things that are like troubling me here, to give me an opportunity. And food has been that avenue to give me an opportunity to be connected to the larger conversation. But if the rest of the world don't care about us here, we got to start with us.
Okay.
Uni.
Definitely about be the change you want to see,
Boom.
you know?
Yeah.
And I say we deserve it because I mean that with my soul. When I grew up, we didn't have any city gardens. We didn't have any of that stuff going on. And it just was me learning. And Appetite for Change was really where I embarked on that. And attending different classes and different meetings and all the different stuff I was in. At first I was like, oh, but then after a while, it really just like embedded into me. And I'm like, well, I gotta try just really getting back to nature. Any way you can get back to nature. I feel like that us as people are at our healthiest, our strongest, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And so that whether that's growing food or, you know, trying healthy remedies and natural remedies and just practicing love and grace just in general. But really it's about getting back to nature in whichever way works for you. And that's what I love about it. I'm trying to push to our people. It's not you have to grow food but you can be a part of it in some way. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you can be a part of it.
Yeah, that's what nature is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, being with Appetite for Change and just working with the youth, you know, or just people in general, they like to, you know, refer growing to slavery.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard that.
you know, we like to challenge that with our youth every day, and let them, you know, open their own minds up once they get in the field and get their hands dirty, and then they start coming in, you know, with their shoes off, getting their feet dirty, you know. So for you all, what's like one myth that you challenge every day when it comes to growing your own food or being an herbalist or a naturopath? Like, how do you challenge this myth or stigma around that?
Well, for me, you know, so I'm a naturopath, so that's a natural doctor. And when I say that in certain rooms, people are like, you know, looking sideways. And I'm serious. They're looking sideways and things like that. And I actually recently had a particular person come to me, and they gave me the side eye a couple times too. I'm not kidding. And then they came to me, you know, now they're hearing that I'm working with certain people and I'm helping them. They're having results. They're seeing different things I'm doing. So now that side eye turned to, well, I do got this going on, you know. And then literally helped them with just a couple of things. We just talked for a little while. And they literally let me know, hey, that changed my life. Because it's not about making a fix here, it's about a lifestyle change. It's about learning how to make healthier choices. You don't have to be perfect, but as long as you know how to make healthier choices, you're always in control. And that right there, they let me know, like, okay, now I understand now, because I was able to actually look at them at their face and say, you know, I'm seeing that you have some stress issues here and there. And they're like, I do, you know? And from there, they're like, okay, when you don't know something, sometimes you fear it, and if you fear it, you might shun it, or you might talk down it and things like that, and that's just kind of a natural defense mechanism that a lot of people have. But once our people get to learning about it and they see that, hey, you don't have to go sit with the doctor, because she went to school too, you know what I mean? And she's really going in the back and looking at this book. I got the book too, so what does that, you know, seriously, I'm saying, but it goes deeper, and the doctors aren't able to go deeper for us, and that's why our people are suffering. It's all what's right here on the surface, you know. This book says, oh, it says you probably got cancer. You know what I mean? Our people are being treated for stuff that they're not even ailing from, you know, and then when they're treating them, it's not natural. They're using these chemicals and all this other stuff to treat them. So if it isn't the right thing, or even if it is, they have to deal with the side effects. You know, when naturally that could have been done without the side effects, and it could be leading to a longer lasting life.
You know, I don't think a lot of people, I'd rather go see an herbalist before I go to the hospital. And I'm not someone that, I have this thing where I don't get sick a lot, right? I think it's because I'm dead serious. Now, don't be smiling, don't be
No,
laughing. Don't
I
think me.
mean, because people don't believe me when I say that either. But
I don't get
so
sick.
I feel you.
That's the African. I'm just saying. It's I don't know what it is. But
melanin.
playing, you know what I mean? Playing in the dirt, you know, my nails, my hair is like, you know. And there's a lot of medicine, and you know, nature is abundant. So when I meet people that are actually practicing, you know, herbal medicine and indigenous things, I rather pay attention to that and try to incorporate that into our everyday Western movement and like healing practices. But you know, talking to doctors, I was in the military. You know, after I got home from the military, I suffered from a lot of things, like especially hypertension and things like that. But all they wanted to do was like throw drugs at me, and I didn't even have hypertension. But they thought, oh, your mama got it? Oh, you gonna have it, right? And then give you the medicine, right? Now you stuck, right? So I go talk to the herbalist, and started slowly changing the way I eat, the way I move, and not necessarily like cutting a lot out of because I don't eat bad anyways. I'm not a big junk food or like fast food person. I cook every day. But like, just really adding some things to my life that actually kept my immune system,
More
you know,
stronger,
up. And so winter, I'm like the abominable snowman. You know what I mean? I'm getting ready for it. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna definitely come see you.
I'm here.
Because after this summer was pretty hard. It was hard on everyone on the ground. I don't think a lot of people know the impact mentally and spiritually.
When your stuff don't grow.
Man, it's not just that. It's, you know, like, of course, yeah, the impact of like climate change and all the things that are happening around us, you know, the content of our soil and, you know, all the loss of nutrients in our soil and stuff here in North because of everything that's happening around us.
Drought.
Yeah.
So much.
So, I mean, but then there's the, you know, like the spiritual part of it. The amount of energy it takes to be outside on the ground, talking to people, right? You go home and you just exhaust. You don't know why. It's not like we're like building nothing. We're not like tired with, you know, doing any laborious work, but it's like, it can be exhausting. And I think I appreciated Princess for like giving us, you know, that day of just rest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you weren't there. What you mean by it was?
I don't need no day to
It was crazy. It was nice in the middle of nowhere in a big old mansion. I slept the whole time.
Oh, I know. Why wasn't I there?
Why would? That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
just kidding.
That was
Y'all
about
should have been there. 'Cause, that's what we need, man. If you're gonna work this hard, I always tell people like healthy environments isn't something you're, you know, entitled to. You're not entitled to like a nice house and clean streets. You gotta create it, right? That's what we've been trying to do. Is trying to build capacity around keeping our area what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Problem is like, you know, we struggle with, you know, the challenges, lack of resources, and just, you know, being in America, it can be hard for you to like find the enthusiasm, the mental fortitude, strength to just be, right? There's a difference between being a human being and a human creature, you know?
Okay, that's a little deep. I think we should go into that, you know, another time because I want to learn a little more about that.
That's what's up.
She's tired of being a creature.
You gotta be.
I am a
It's
creature.
exhausting being a creature. You're constantly reacting to unfavorable situations in your environment. Whereas to be, we just here. And we kick it, you know, nobody's scared. The whole world got a narrative around us, but that's their problem.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. So, how do y'all feel growing food has an impact? You know, y'all talked about like the health side of things, but what about when it comes to like wealth, and not just wealth? You know,
To me,
both wealths.
To
you know?
me, that is wealth. Growing food, because I really understood the impact. Sorry, I kicked your foot. During the pandemic, you know, everybody's scuffle. I was good I had my garden in the backyard. I have a deep freezer. I was good. If we didn't come outside for a year, my house would have been okay. And my kids learned the importance too. You're still getting fresh vegetables. You're still getting all this, and we don't have to go to the grocery store. We don't have to tie our faces up and run it. You know, I literally during those 2 years, I poured more into my garden than I ever have. You know, it expanded even more. And then I started crossbreeding. I started doing all kinds of stuff that I never thought you know, 10 years from now, 10 years ago, I'd have been like, who? you know, Tay-Tay. Like, what? And it's just changed. Like, right now, I'm not completely plant-based, but I'm plant-based, if that makes sense. Yep. I don't tell anyone you have to eat this way, but I let them know the importance. And when you put this into your body, these are the positive effects. So you do the math, and you choose what you're going to do, you know? But just being able to grow my own food, and I think the best part of it is that I'm raising my babies to do the same, you know, from birth now. Because Coralie, I was pregnant with Coralie when we started the New Moms group. From birth, she's known to grow her own food. She's known that milk is nasty. I'm telling you, I'm serious. Like, she understands, and not that she's over scolding people, but she's telling her friends, you know, I don't think we were meant to drink milk. Nope. It came from cows. I think the cows are supposed to drink it, you know? And little stuff. And even Renaya, she'll be somewhere, she'll be like, well, we didn't have anything healthy. I said, nothing? Nope, they don't believe in vegetables. And I'm like, well, she's like, I tried to tell them. You know, that just makes me proud. You know, when we're somewhere and my daughter's like, I'm gonna pass on that, or my kids are running in the house and you're like, what are you eating? They're eating a green pepper. You know, she's sitting there just chewing the green pepper. Like, okay, and everybody's looking like, is she eating the green pepper?
Okay,
like,
right.
Yeah, you know? They pick tomatoes, eat them. We got how do you say, marberry bush in the back. They sit and eat those all day. You come in, you look at the hands, you can see they had a good time, you know? But it's just the art of being able to grow, because that way, that's revolutionary. You're winning there. Because if you can't grow your own food, if they close the grocery store, what you gonna do?
Exactly,
Yeah, and you gotta remember, nature is abundance, right? So when you talk about wealth, you're tapping into abundance. That means everything is there. You don't really need to make up anything or do anything or prove anything. You just got to be a part of it. That's why, see, so your babies are harvesting berries and just eating off branches. Now they can still, you know, have their little Cheetos and whatnot.
Definitely.
But just the experience of doing that is kind of like countering all that stuff they're putting in their body, whereas we didn't have a choice. Like, what you gonna do? Wait till lunch at school to go get food? Nah, I had my backpack full of stuff, and none of it was good. You know what I mean? None of it was good, and to the point now where I actually appreciate just, you know, being in green spaces over north.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's like I can have like ambulances and cop cars and screaming people.
As long as those collards growing.
And you step into like a garden and it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. I be hearing birds. I'm like, what the hell?
I agree 100%.
So there's a lot in nature, and man, you're proof of like wealth. Just saying. Don't be blushing now. Don't be blushing, because I need some of this money you got. You know what I'm saying? I got to borrow $500 after this.
Let me hold some.
You know what I'm saying? But no, this is the proof. We're doing this for your kids now. That's why we're doing it. Not for you. Don't be.
We doing it for my kids for sure.
Then your kids' kids. That's generational wealth.
Well, that's when you were speaking. That's what I was.
That's generational
And then
wealth.
eventually we're gonna start owning these blocks. Because right now, you know, we run around, this is my hood, blah blah. We don't own nothing.
Facts.
As we're sitting here, right before I got here, I was putting up walls, sheetrocks, you know, mudding, taping, and I've never done that before.
Yeah.
So just the chance to have that opportunity has been like life-saving for me. Because if I didn't have that opportunity, I'd probably be doing something else. You know, who knows? You know what I mean? This is Northside. So I appreciate the abundance that nature's brought to me. And nature doesn't have to be like rural. It can be in your backyard. You know, it can be anywhere. My house is full of plants. I wake up in nature, you know? And yeah, that idea of wealth and, you know, generations and generations. We're talking about like the stigma of like plantations, right? So I was talking to the elders one, and they were telling me, man, I used to work on a plantation. I used to, grow tobacco. My mom and them used to pick cotton. Tripped me out for a second, because we think about it like it was so long ago, and I'm sitting there talking to him. And he's like, yo, Marcus, that's why I'm so proud of you, man, because you make this so cool. We see you every day just in overalls, just looking dirty and stuff, running around with babies.
We definitely appreciate you.
And that's the first time I literally felt the value of my being here at home, right? Like, I've been around the world, but being here, when an old man said that, he's like, man, I went to prison like 3 times, and then I see brothers like you, and I'm like, I never felt this good about my life, and he's like, he said something that blew my mind. He says, now what you're doing is changing the narrative of the plantation, because you're creating culture around plants and foods. So you're the first citizen of the new plant nation, not plantation. See what I'm saying?
I like that.
So that's our culture in North. That's what we need, a brand design, and that's where we all need to meet. Now all y'all have to get your green cards and citizenship to the new plant nation.
I love it.
You feel me?
I like that.
And the whole world will meet us around a certain table, and we can invite them in our abundance, because we're going to go into theirs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what wealth is to me. That's why I do this. And everyone think I got money. Really, I'm just a homeless vet. I'm broke.
I feel you.
I just look good.
Period.
You know what I mean? But nah, on a serious note though, this has changed the way I see the world. It changed everything about my life. I'm not running, I'm not looking for a job. I don't need a job, I'm creating those. There are people fighting around it, and I don't know why. All they have to do is have a conversation. They don't even know how to do that. But we black, so we have to sit, and we have to first have this conversation with us and eat around it, feel good about it, and then the rest of the world will come.
And that was gonna be my next question.
Sorry.
How can we use? No, that was great. I liked it. I was gonna say, how can we use, growing food to bring people together?
If you build it, they come.
Yeah.
That's in every situation. And just really quick, something you're talking about, because I get all that, the slave, but our ancestors were growing food before slavery. Before
exactly.
slavery ever existed, our ancestors were growing food. That's instilled in us. That's a part of us, and that's getting back to our roots. And so the people who've done that are at, they have this hard stop at slavery. But we were glorious people way before slavery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a glitch in the books for us. That is not who we are. That's not even close to who we are.
At all.
We're beautiful people, and as soon as we can stop, I'm not saying forget slavery happened. That we lived through it, but we got to remember who we were before that. You know what I mean? And who we're capable of being.
And who we are.
Once we know it, that's when we are. We're capable of being. You got to know who you are to be it.
Exactly.
So our people just got to know. You got to remind them. You come from greatness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And greatness doesn't have to be what their greatness looks like.
Exactly.
We have a greatness. Show them their greatness, so that way they can live in it.
Everything about their greatness is based on us.
Yes, definitely. We won't even go
Ooh,
there.
okay, yeah.
We won't go there.
I always tell people I'm not equal. We're not equal.
No.
The whole idea of this thing that is equity that we've been hyper-focused on since George Floyd and all the things isn't about being treated the same, right? There's a proof when it comes to diversity and equity, but most people talking about it can't prove it, right? They just debate, but the proof is in the differences.
Yes.
It's not being the same, right? So every human being, according to my elders, and that's another thing I was going to bring up, reason why I love planting and growing things is because I think it was Devon that told me once that plants are the ancestors returned, right? But one of the elders had told me to look at my fingers. She's like, look at your fingerprints. It's like, yo, there isn't another one on the planet like yours. That's why. That's how they, they get us. We go and snatch something. We're like, oh my God, you left your print on the sand, because it's just you. You can't say, oh my God, that's somebody else's print. It's unique to you, and that unique nature of your design, that organic pattern, is the differences. That's the proof of equity. It's the idea of respecting the differences, and that's what makes an equitable system. Now, a lot of people are designing and engineering systems to work for them, and they want you to conform to their processes and their ways, and that's equitable for them. Just because they include you, you should be grateful, right? And my thing is I'm sorry.
I feel that 100%.
I can't. So I mean, that's the mean part of this work we're doing, is to show greatness, and not to do it by exhorting and spending our time and energy, but to do it by showing people how we live, because that's what you're doing. You're creating medicine that give us time and the ability to live a healthier life. You're working on creating green spaces and access to healthier foods, and you're both of y'all bringing the babies into that, right? And all I'm gonna do is sit in the back and be like, yeah. And if anyone got to say something about it, they got to see me. That's what it is. We got to do that. We got to do that here. We can work for these organizations and be a part of these organizations, but over north, when it comes to the family, the media people on the ground doing this work, we got to once a year meet and eat and do nothing.
I'm with that.
I got it.
And do nothing but enjoy the medicine, enjoy the conversation. Please don't sing for us.
What?
You can't sing.
What?
That was not an invitation.
Wow.
She be wanting to sing everywhere, man.
We know.
Hold on.
I'm gonna sing there
Hey,
for
it's a
y'all.
compliment, all right? It's not. It's yeah. I'm just saying. I'm trying to help you out.
All right, thank you. Really appreciate it.
So I'm just saying, all this stuff we're doing is very important. I don't care about how people see it, and how they collect the impact of it and the outcome of it. It comes from the stories and from these relationships, right? Us sitting down, having this brother film and tell our story through our own voices. The impact of this, me as a black vet, and I'm surprised I even made it this age, coming from
Happy
this place.
birthday.
You know what I mean?
That.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be
Thank you for your
this
service.
old. I wake up every day and I still think I'm 23. I mean, I do look good.
No, it's that's a testament to how you're living, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How you feel. Because I'm not saying my age, but I don't feel that old.
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
No.
The time is moving. You know what I mean?
So
But
wrong.
when I started reconnecting with nature, it started moving slower.
Yeah.
A lot slower. I can literally say, peace be still.
Yeah.
And sitting outside, no matter who drove me crazy today, if I'm outside in my garden, I'm serious. It's just like peace be still.
No, I.
And sometimes I'm just like Jody Mama. I'll sit out there in my wine. I know y'all seen Baby Boy. I'm not kidding. I have a little chair. You've seen my garden. I'm sitting back there in my little chair with everything, picking a tomato and eating that and sipping my wine. And do not don't mess with me.
Don't. That
Let
is
me be.
peace.
Let me be.
Even the dog knows, don't go over there.
You know what I mean?
We're going to let her be. That's what we're going to do.
No, it is. It really is. I love you say green spaces. The peace that come with it. I just remember from y'all talking, me and my best friend coming home from school and just stressed out. And we lived around the corner from our garden that we worked at. And we you know what? We just want to go over there and just help out before we got to come to work the next day and leave and be like, dang, you feel better? You say you didn't hear nothing. We did not hear. We was on 26. We didn't hear nothing. But what was there with us in that garden? And anytime I felt stressed out or something was going wrong, I used to walk there. You know what?
I remember you had a cast done in the garden.
In the garden.
And you were in pain. And you were in the garden. I remember
Exactly.
a lot of different things.
Oh my God. You make me feel old. I'm proud of you though.
I'm very proud of you, Tay.
Well, thank
You know,
you.
You work every
I'm
nerve I
proud of
got,
y'all,
but
too.
I'm so proud of you.
That's
You know
my
what?
job. That's really my job, is to get on you all's nerves. But since we talking about that, I brought up me and my best friend, being a little younger and doing that. and you kind of talked about it 10 years ago, you would be looking like who? If you were sitting, if I'm your 15-year-old self, what is something that, you know, you would say to yourself, or words of encouragement, or one word?
I would say
anything?
don't believe the hype.
Don't believe
And I mean that in so many ways. Don't believe the hype. Don't let nobody tell you who you are, what you're capable of, what you can do, or black people don't do this, or any of that. Don't believe the hype, because everybody has something to say and everybody has an opinion, and everybody knows what opinions are like. Go ahead and go for what you know. What feels good for you is what's meant for you, and go for it.
All right, thank you for that. And for you?
Man, I come from the 90s, so I'm with you. You know what I mean? I'm with you. Like, my favorite thing about the 90s is like there were unique people. No two things look the same.
Now everybody.
Kind of look the same. You know what I mean? And the more that happens, the more unique I look. I'm just saying though. I mean, you got to remember, so I'm a musician and I come from like church, right? So I didn't know the importance of it sitting behind a pianist and looking at the patterns on pianos. And then I started writing songs. And of course, we black, so people telling me, you know, that ain't even a real song, right? Because it's weird, right? And of course, I was raised in Minnesota, so I'm like a product of a lot of different people, meaning I have no genre. So now I'm going to concerts. It's not just hip hop or like R&B. It's not just black. I'm in environments where there are rock and rollers. And I'm wondering why these people are having so much fun. They ain't got nothing, you know what I mean? Like,
I want to try it.
yeah, like, well, can I please, you know? And my first guitar had like 3 strings on it. And then they gave me one with 6. I became a guitar player, like naturally, because I'm watching, you know, Big Mama Thornton, Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, black people. I'm watching, Rage and people in the 90s, coming from the 90s, like Rage Against the Machine and stuff. I'm just blown away by this stuff. I don't even know why, because I'm strange, right? Because all the homies are like, man, look, Wu-Tang is out. And I'm like, yeah, but I just heard this thing from Marilyn Manson or something, right? And there's devil music in my house. Like, you don't want to listen to that. You got to pray for you in holy water, everything, right? But the more I grew up, that unique nature, curiosity, when it came to like music without time, without limits, without, lines, socioeconomics, geographically didn't mean nothing to me. And I just started becoming a part of my heroes. Now I'm like hanging out with them for what I don't know. And if I was to run into a 15-year-old version of myself, I wouldn't have been so afraid to like, I would have encouraged myself to like go harder in the paint as far as like just being unique. And then coming home, people, man, look, what you listening to? Man, that's white music. Boy, we don't listen to that here, right? And now I sing a song for $1,000. That's like 3 minutes of my life. I write things that are paying me for the rest of my life. Or I am here at home producing and post-producing things with kids here. And my goal isn't to tell them what to do, is to really kind of like follow, right? Because I ain't had no one follow me. Everyone told me it wasn't real. Just like I told you, your singing ain't real. But who knows?
But you know I don't believe.
All I know is as soon as you get that money, though,
Come talk to you.
I need that Audi A8,
Oh, okay.
I'll be by to
2026.
collect mine too.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
2026.
I'll be by to collect mine also.
Yeah, Grammys and everything. You got it.
I got y'all.
Probably take you another 2 years to get your vocals right. But
Okay. I'm gonna sing for y'all.
You're on
after
your way
this.
up.
I'm gonna sing for y'all after this. But I do want to thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you, Tay.
The knowledge y'all been dropping, the words that y'all been using, and just being here with me. Y'all both was like, yes, right away. Thank you for the work that you do for this community, giving back to our community. This is what community looks like. And it's gonna continue to look like as long as we got people like myself and you all doing this work. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
thank you for inviting us.
Problem.
Yeah.